How's everyone today?
Good.
How's everybody today?
Good.
My language, that means I like it. I like the enthusiasm over here. Is that where that was coming from? Good deal. Now, before I get started, I need you guys to come in. You're standing this between here, and we got this corner over here. Because we actually have soldiers coming in that area right there where you're standing. We're placing you in these spots for your protection. We have battle scenes going all around this square ground. We do not want anybody injured. If you have children, keep them by your side. Do not let them be moving around. There's swords used, war clubs, knives. They do the battle scene around the square ground and inside. Now, before I get started with the program, so if you got Cherokee lineage, please do not jump out of your seat and try to help us. We can handle this ourselves. Okay. Now, what you're about to see. 1761, my people, our warriors, we were allied with the British. Coming back from a battle, fighting the French, as we came to Pennsylvania, 19 of our warriors were killed. Now in the southeast, we went by what they call blood law. What this means is that if you kill 19 of us, we will find you and we will kill the same amount of you. You do have phone silence, please. You're allowed to take pictures, video, send them to your friends. Please keep them on silent, or I'll have the pouch full of phones when I get done. They'll be for sale. Indian trade barter. Now that blood law that I spoke of, cliche out there in society that says the Cherokee were a peaceful people. I don't think so. We were the largest tribe in the southeast of the Mississippi. We were also the best guerrilla warfare fighters. Every nationality that ever came to our part of the country wanted us as an ally, just for the fact of our numbers and our fighting capability. We outnumbered neighboring tribes 8 to 1 when it came to warriors and men. Quote from George Washington. He said he would rather have 500 Cherokee warriors than 5,000 militia. It would take our people anywhere from 1 to 2 days to be anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 warriors together to converge on where the war was going to begin. The color that you see on my forehead is red. To my people, they stood for war. It stood for blood, and it stood for life. The black that you see across my face, made from hickory ash, bear grease. The hickory, the tree, you can't break it, it's hard to bend. All the things that we wear in times of war, bear claws, eagle feathers, the medicine, the characteristics of those animals we took inside our bodies. Outside these barricades that you see around this village, we had what we call a warrior house. This is where our ceremonies took place. When we done the ceremony, we call in a black being that knew only death. But we also knew that we did not kill the children, the women, or elders. We only took the lives of those who come to try to take ours. As protectors of our people, those that go to fight or battle, this is what we call ourselves. Our warriors did not fear death. We welcomed it. because we knew if we died on this day, go Eagle, this day, we died with honor. Died protecting what is important to us. Is our women, our children, and those elders. The paint that you see, we fought hand-to-hand combat. War club, side knife. I could take this back 500 years, 1,000 years. I still carry it just like it looks right here. The only reason these were made was to take out the enemies. But the thing about it is, this didn't just save my life. It saved my grandfather, my grandmother, my children, the women. As protectors, whenever we done the ceremony, before we went into battle, we would do what we called our warrior dance. I thought they you ski, but y'all ski. Warrior dance. And this dance is timeless. Back from the beginning when we first started going into war, this dance was done thousands of years ago. You'll watch closely. This dance that you're about to see, these warriors tell a story of how they tracked the enemy. The song was Speed Up. They found that track. They wanted to encounter the enemy as soon as possible. Once they encounter the enemy, it shows them actually fighting. As protectors of our people, defending what is important. This dance is where, once it's finished, our warriors are then ready for battle. Good night, Dana. Paint that you see on these warriors. The more black that we wore on our bodies showed that more anger we had toward them. They knew this. And our warriors in the stages, we had an elite of the elite. They were called Kalana Atahli, the Raven Warriors. Before first contact, before any other nationality ever came to this continent, whenever war parties of neighboring tribes would try to declare war on us, when the Raven Warriors showed up, they would retreat and go back to their villages because they knew of these warriors. In the journals of soldiers that came to this area during the time of the trail where they cried, in one of those journals, one of the soldiers wrote that he watched one Cherokee warrior take out 7 soldiers in a matter of seconds. One warrior. These warriors are done with this dance. They're then ready for war. The pain that you see on their faces, if one of them to fall in battle, either in injury or in death, we knew who it was by the pain on his face. If I was to fall as war chief, the next in line would then take over. Now we bring you a warrior dance. It's timeless. Been doing this since the time we had to start going to war. Cody, hatahi. soldiers came and invaded those villages that were still had people, my people, still had women, and children, old ones, who avenged those dead. Our warriors, this is what they have to do. They have to do this. Look beside you. The children, yours, your mama, your daddy, your grandfather. If those were taken away from you because they looked at you as less than human, do you want to avenge that? This is what we were picked to do. To protect what I just named off. Now that these warriors are ready for battle, when these soldiers would come into these villages, a lot of them were vacated. They would find no one there. Sometimes they would enter these villages thinking they were empty, or so it seemed. Now we bring you time of war.
Rabbit! Saw it! Get him!
Oh, we saw rabbits, so I took a shot.
Well, did you catch the rabbit?
Clearly not. I look like a hell rabbit.
Gentlemen, you cannot go off with firing guns and yelling.
I don't care.
We're so hungry.
We're so hungry these days.
I'm sorry, you can eat some dirt.
What?
You want to eat some dirt?
You know what? All dirt aside, why are we here?
I've told you 1,000 times why we are.
I forgot to
Really?
Yes, 1,000. You were at the briefing. All of you were.
No, I missed the memo of the briefing.
Gentlemen, we are here because the Cherokee people came into our colony and killed our men. So, therefore, we have to kill them.
So what?
But you are whining, bundles like a baby.
I'm like a big baby. I'm a big baby. Where?
There are turtles on this tree.
Oh my God! Tell me my pants are too big.
Bloody hell!
We've been sent here by Lieutenant Colonel Grant, to hold you accountable for the Cane Creek Massacre.
We were merely seeking retribution. We sought to restore the balance. You know nothing about blood law.
So you thought you'd just take over Fort Loudon, did
And
you?
so we did!
Your people came and killed those innocent lives that had surrendered. Why, they were sure to stay past the town. You killed them all. Why, you even killed Captain Demir.
We kill only those who come to take our lives. Those soldiers, those who kill indiscriminately. Women, children, elders, you know nothing of honor.
You speak of honor as if you know what it means. Why, you are nothing but bloodthirsty savages.
Dissoluta!
That's not true. I probably shouldn't have offended him.
Uti, no you stay here.
What's going on?
What do you want us to do with him?
Help! Have mercy, please.
Talehunga! You! Talehunga! You've been left alive for one reason. Go now. Tell the others of what has occurred here this day.
Me and a gentleman had things down. His odds were out on the drama of the field. We actually just got together and tried to figure out a fight scene, something we couldn't get. And we called it the time of war. We got such a great response. And after that first year, actually me and Dusty the leader in, we actually got on to our original from the beginning when we first started. And once this began and more people started coming, these programs are actually smaller actually. And we're still having people, which we love. We love to see all of you here watching the time of war. Because what you don't realize is that there's only two places in this world that you can learn about us. One of them you're seeing. The other is Tahlequah, Oklahoma, where the nation and the Gadua man our family. We're still one tribe. Everybody talks about that. They act like we're three different tribes. We're not. The only thing that separates them, they have their own flag, we have ours, but I say two flags, one tribe. And what you learn here, you can take a stone. Because you're being taught about the Cherokee life. You're not reading about it. You're all for this non-Cherokee. You're not watching the DVD that's been produced by a non-Cherokee. And you're not watching the TV special that's produced by a non-Cherokee. Talk about a real deal. All the guys, lectures, you're being taught by Cherokee. So you become teachers when you leave here. Because everything you learn, you teach others. That's why we say Kayali. It's a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you. Because you're going to help us the truth out to society. There's too many misrepresentations. There's 563 organizations to date that say they are Cherokee and affiliated with us, have nothing to do with it. And I'd like to give a props to these gentlemen. These guys work at our outdoor drama. They come over here. They practice the fights and they teach us all these things that you see here in the square ground, the fighting, the eating. These guys are professionals at this, and they also take time to go and be in our drama and act for them. You haven't seen this uniquely. It's unbelievable. Fantastic. I have a lot of honor for these men. You got a good heart, all of them. Like a family. Let's give them a round of applause. We're going to start out with Mike. All yours.
Yo, what's up? Ayan, Mike D. Talking to one. Good afternoon. My name is Mike Crow. I'm from the Yellow Hill community here in Cherokee. I'm a guide here at the village. I also work here at the square and the council house from time to time, as well as the craft line. I like to carve wood and stone. I also portray Junaluska next door to Alpha Drama on these hills. And I'm also a member of the Warriors of Bonnie Kadua. But more importantly, I'm also a proud new papa. My lady is born, and our new baby, Blaze Eleanor.
Hello, my name is Cody, and I told you that I'm one of the warriors from our mother town, Gadua. Now, aside from that, I am one of the members of the Warriors of Montegadua from here in Cherokee. And within the village, I am also your tour guide.
Very good.
My name is Malachi Taylor, and I'm the tour guide here at the village.
Ayan, go Etioni Iona and Wanti. I'm James Lasper Warnody, and I'm a tour guide here at the village. Hi, I'm Jimmy Tiet. I'm from Garner, North Carolina. I play Elias Kudana and Jake and lots of other various roles in the drama next door.
Hi, my name is Zach Snyder. I'm an actor from Davis, West Virginia, and I play Kanade next door in the drama.
Hello, my name's Logan Reed. I'm actually from Birmingham, Alabama. Long time. I play the lead role of Soldier Number 3 in the drama next door.
There we go.
Hello, my name is Dustin Wolf. I'm a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation of Oklahoma. And at the drama next door, I play Sequoia and a drunk prospector.
There we go.
Hello, my name's Kyle Walter. I'm 21 years old from Johnson City, Tennessee, and I play Colonel Foster and Bundles in the drama next door.
Hello, chaps. My name is Bobby Cassell. I'm 21 years old from Cary, North Carolina. I play Sam Houston in the drama next door. And just a few things. Us 6 of us on the end, like Sonny was saying, are certified actor combatants with the Society of American Fight Directors. So please, not try any of this at home. And secondly, we are all single and eligible young men.
You just had to put that last
Hello.
women looking.
How are you? How are you?
Yo, Shikwatum. Respecting all dog dog Tiswa Hige. Atatli ski. Anika wogi. Aniti squam. What he said to you was hello and how are you? I also said my name is Usquetsi Walt. My bloodline name. It means they wore something on their head or in their hair. I also said that I was from the Birdtown community. I also said that I was a warrior or a fighter from my mother town, Gadua, and that I was Birdland. Now my English name is Sonny Rex. I've employed here with the historical for many years. I also do the council house lecture that you see down here, the council house. I do square ground. I do the wood carving, arrowheads, just about everything you see me doing here. I guess I'm maybe just an all-around guy.
Give it up for Sonny.
Now, as I mentioned about the website, please do go on there, put your comment, if you like to come forward or leave those comments there. Now, our guys they will be out here for about 5 minutes. They will be taking photos. Some of them are the guides, so they have to get back on the track line or the guide line, wherever they're at. So we're just they'll be right out here. Now, for those of you who just came in, haven't had a tour yet, you'll go back onto the bridge when you came in, have a seat, and guys will come out and get you. Those of you who were left at a certain area, if you have a guide at a certain area, go back and read the guide. For those of you who have the lecture here already, then you will go to the council house. If you have not been to the council house, there might be your next stop. I hope you've enjoyed our time of war. Thank you very much.
Four directions of the earth, north, south, east, and west. When they did their dances, they always came in from the east, like the sun comes up. They would exit toward the east. In our dances, they were always done in a counterclockwise manner. Now, we never danced for entertainment. We never danced for pleasure. We were not a colorful tribe. We didn't have all brightly colored feathers on when we danced. Our dances had meanings, but before we danced, this right here was called sacred. That right here was called neutral. This was a barrier between you and I. When our ceremonies were going on, and our 7 clans, whichever clan you belonged to, you were not taking part in our dances. That's where you would be seated. Also, you'll hear more about this in the council house. The ones that hadn't been down there, you'll hear about our 7 clans. The number 7 is very sacred to the Cherokees. Also, in our square grounds, we had large poles placed in the ground. Those were called punishing poles. While our ceremonies were going on and your child misbehaved and came across this barrier of sin, then you, the parent, was taken and tied. You were tied to that pole and left to stand there through the duration of our ceremonies, which sometimes lasted 7 days. Now, it was up to the elder person whether you got something to eat or something to drink, because that was your punishment for your child misbehaving. Now, during our dances were always done dedicating them to one supreme being. We would dance thanking the supreme being for a wonderful harvest. We would dance thanking him for a safe return of our warriors from battle. We would dance thanking him for a successful hunt the night before, and after that we would dance again thanking him. And during the dances, our women also could take part in our dances. They also were highly respected in our council. They sat in the council along with the chief. The man that would dance, led the dance, or the woman, they were called the lead dancer. Before we had metal tools to make any type of mask, they would just use bark from different types of trees. Then once they had the metal tools, they could make masks that would represent some of the animals, like you saw down here in the wood carving section. Now, in doing those dances, we had other material, instruments, our drums back then. We had no metal tools, so we made our drums out of large pieces of pottery called coil pottery, with animal skin stretched over the top. We also had several instruments like the rattle. Now, we would grow these gourds in our garden. They're grown all over the world, but they're not edible. So we would grow these. We had other uses for them. One was a rattle. They would take this, let it dry out, take the seeds out, and insert small sticks and rocks to give it a sound for their dances. This is called a box turtle, woodland tarpon. It's native in this area. Now, again, the meat in this is very edible, so they would take the meat out, cook it, and eat it. And they would dry the shell. They would put rocks and, again, a small stick after it dried, and they had a rattle out of this. When the women took part in their dances, they would only wear rattles like this. They would tie them just below the knee, and as they shuffled their foot, they made a different sound. Once we had metal tools, we could make drums. We made 2 types. This is called the water drum. Now, this was only hollowed one side, about 2 inches thick on the bottom. They had a hickory band to hold the top on. They found out by adding different amounts of water on this drum here, in this drum, they got a different tone. This is called a single tone drum, or better known to most people as a tom-tom. This was hollowed all the way through. Animal skin stretched on both sides. The animal that we use is called the groundhog because his skin is very tough. Like I said earlier, our dances were never colorful. Now, the only dance that we ever had or ever did was with the feathers was called the eagle dance. And this was done in 3 parts. Since today the eagle stands for peace, we danced for peace back then also, and victory. And third, we danced thanking the eagle for the use of his feathers. We had several young men that were chosen to go out and capture the eagle. Now, when he was captured, he was not injured in any way. Just so many feathers were removed from him that he was released. They would make a wand, and in doing the dance, they would imitate that eagle in flight. But also at one time, this was a very superstitious dance. They believed while dancing, and that dancer touched that wand to this mound of sand, a member from his family or he would soon die. Now, we could not send drum signals or smoke signals like you may have read about and other tribes did. We couldn't do it. Our village is built to give you an idea about how our villages were set up in mountainous areas, ravines, So we tried to send a drum signal, it would just echo back and forth. Our smoke would just rise to our treetops and fade away or blend in with the blue haze that hangs over the Great Smoky Mountains. We had one time had a runner or relay system. Several young men were chosen to be able to do that. When a message needed to be sent to another village, they would run that relay to another runner, then it would go on until it reached its destination. Years later, a man by the name of George Guest, born near Fort Loudon, Tennessee. He was half white, half Cherokee, better known as Sequoia. Now, he could not read nor write, but he came up with a solution where the Cherokees could read and write and speak their own native tongue. It took him 12 years to come up with this. And when he did complete it, he came up with 86 syllables that makes up our Cherokee alphabet today. Now in our Cherokee language, we cannot find a curse word. We cannot tell you goodbye. Our language is also written in the New Testament and some of the hymn books in our churches that the elders use. Also, we made our first newspaper in 1824 in New Echota, Georgia. It was called the Cherokee Phoenix. It was written both in Cherokee and also in English. Later on, the government set up what they call boarding schools for the elders, great-great-great-great-grandparents. When they were children, they were sent to these schools. And while in that school, if that child was caught speaking the Cherokee language, he was taken out back and severely punished. He was told not to speak it no more, to learn English, forget about the language. So when they got home, they would tell their mom and dads about this. So after that, it almost died out. On down the line, they quit teaching it to their children and their children's children, thinking it's going to be that way while they went to school. They didn't want them punished like they went through. Also, intermarriages almost got us our lost, our language there. Kids marrying, and then them not wanting to learn, then not teaching their children because the children didn't want to learn. Therefore, again, our language almost died out. Now we have what we call immersion programs located here in Cherokee. Also, it's taught in our public schools because we do have Native children that go to these public schools. But up here, it's taught. When that child goes into daycare, he's taught the Cherokee language. When he gets into kindergarten, it's taught again. And it will follow him all through high school, our new high school up here. You don't have to be a Native American to attend our high school. Our immersion programs, though, we have computers in our labs at our kindergartens as well as high school. Now those children can get on them computers, and the computers have the Cherokee alphabet on them. So they can do their work using the Cherokee language. They do their math using the Cherokee language. And then they can switch back and do it in English. So I hope I'll help you understand a little bit the ways and life of Cherokees, what we did, what we believed in, and what we didn't believe in, and why we did things a certain way. Again, if you hadn't been to the council house, that will be your next stop. You'll hear about our government and more of our 7 clans, and also our marriage ceremonies. And those that have been here already and been to the council house, you can go back through and take finished pictures if you like. And again, thank you for coming. Thank you.